10300 Back to the Future time machine is undeniably one of the most accurate and authentic DeLoreans that LEGO have ever produced. Granted, there's only been two, but that doesn't take anything away from just how much love and attention to detail has gone into this updated model. 10300 Back to the Future time machine allows fans to create not one, not two, but three different looking DeLoreans, each one faithful to the source material. The original 1985 DeLorean features the lightning rod attachment used to help power the flux capacitor and send Marty back to 1985. Back to the Future 2's futuristic model features hovering wheels and a Mr. Fusion upgrade, and the DeLorean from the final installment includes modified wheels. Sadly, the metal rims used when the DeLorean rides on the train tracks aren't included, and the cobbled together time circuit unit attached to the front. However, digging deeper under those obvious features reveals just how much attention to detail has been lavished onto this set. Fans will no doubt enjoy finding all the film references that are spread throughout this model, but in case you miss anything, we've put together a list of our favourites. The Flux Capacitor. Alright, let's start with the most iconic, the Flux Capacitor. It is, after all, what makes time travel possible. While 2013's 21103, the DeLorean time machine, relied on a single printed part to recreate the famous device, 10300's flux capacitor is entirely brick built. The glowing orange light that emits from the capacitor once it's powered on has also been faithfully recreated using a hidden light brick built into the DeLorean's framework. A case of plutonium. The flux capacitor requires a staggering 1.21 gigawatts to operate. Altogether now, 1.21 gigawatts? And so Doc Brown needed to find a source that could generate that kind of power. The obvious solution? Well, obvious if you're an eccentric scientist, was plutonium. The only problem being, it's not that easy to come by. So, unable to obtain it on his own, Doc Brown made a deal with a gang of Libyan terrorists who agreed to give him the plutonium he needed as long as he promised to build him a bomb. Of course he didn't, and used the plutonium for his time-travelling experiments instead. As a reference to this, Doc Brown's case of plutonium is included within the set and can be found by popping open the bonnet. The plutonium chamber. Now, if you've managed to acquire yourself some plutonium, you are of course going to need somewhere to put it. Step forward, the plutonium chamber. It's into this chamber, located at the rear of the DeLorean, where Doc Brown places his ill-gotten plutonium in order to power the time machine. This component is represented on the LEGO model using a 2x2 and 3x3 dish attached to a 6-stud shooter that sits at the back of the model. Time circuits. Travelling through time is dangerous enough. We all know what happens when you mess with the space-time continuum. And if you were to just randomly travel through time without any kind of destination in mind, well, the consequences could be catastrophic. Thankfully, Doc Brown fitted the DeLorean with the time circuits, allowing the user to input precisely the time, date, and year that they want to travel to. 3 stickers are used for the time circuits in the LEGO model. Each one features accurate detailing and colours, and underneath those is a single printed 1x1 tile representing the input device. Time circuit lever. Time circuits don't just operate themselves though. A lever located just near the gear stick needs to be pulled in order to boost them into action. In fact, it's this lever that Marty accidentally pulls when he's trying to escape from the Libyan terrorists, the same ones that Doc Brown nicked the plutonium from, and that's what sends him hurtling into 1955 in the first place. If you look closely inside the LEGO DeLorean, you'll see the time circuit lever has been included, and rather accurately is right next to the gear stick. The vents. Perhaps one of the most iconic and prominent features of Doc Brown's DeLorean are the large vents that protrude from the rear. These serve an incredibly important purpose. They help cool the flux capacitor when it travels through time. After all, it can't be that safe sitting on what's effectively a mini nuclear reaction. They also double up as a propulsion device once the DeLorean goes into hover mode, and larger vents were used on the time-travelling train that the Doc builds back in the Old West. But we haven't been treated to a LEGO rendition of that particular model just yet. Hint, hint, LEGO. Hint, hint. Outatime and the barcode. The Californian license plate Outatime is by far the single most recognisable and iconic license plate in all of moviedom. If you can think of a better one, leave a comment down below. There is absolutely no way the designers could have left this feature out of the model, And here it's a sticker rather than a printed piece, but regardless, it looks fantastic. Of course, as we all know, license plates are so 1985, and in the oh-so-futuristic time period of 2015, they've been completely done away with in favour of the much more technologically advanced barcode. Similar to the Outatime plate, this is also a sticker and can be swapped out depending on which particular model DeLorean you are building. The hoverboard. Talking of 2015, it's also the year that Marty first rides the hoverboard, one of the coolest things ever committed to the silver screen, and something that kids and adults alike have wanted in real life ever since. Of course we have hoverboards today, but let's be honest, they're not really hoverboards, are they? Thankfully this set does come with an actual hoverboard, well, an actual Lego one anyway. A sticker is once again used for its design that's very accurate, except for the curve at the top, which has strangely been left sticker free, unlike its on-screen counterpart. Self-tying sneakers. Something else that every single kid wanted after seeing Back to the Future 2 was self-tying laces. Unlike the hoverboard, however, the good news is these have become a reality thanks to Nike, who in 2016 released a pair of their own self-tying shoes. The bad news is they were limited edition, and a brand new pair today will probably set you back around £30,000. Yep, you heard that right, £30,000. Marty's self-tying shoes cost considerably less, as they are simply represented by some exquisite printing on the side of his leg pieces. Mr. Fusion. As Marty and the Doc find out, 2015 can be a very strange place indeed, with a lot of things changing for the worst. However, one thing that's changed for the positive, especially for the future environment, is the fact that the Flux Capacitor no longer needs radioactive plutonium in order to operate. Thanks to the handy Mr. Fusion device, all that's needed to generate the 1.21 gigawatts is a load of old rubbish. Empty beer cans, banana peels, and whatever else you can chuck in will give you enough power to go speeding through time. This model doesn't use actual rubbish, Lego elements are used instead. And that's our list. Did we miss anything out? Well, if we did, let us know in the comments below, and we can always travel back in time and update the article to include it. And by doing so, hope we don't inadvertently cause a chain reaction that unravels the very fabric of the space-time continuum and destroys the entire universe. So no pressure then.